Last time on Realm of the Gods, Silence of the Briathars. We joined the gang back on set at Multiverse Got Talent, where the audience, freshly returned from shoe form. While most everyone is honestly completely confused trying to find their footing. Get it, because they were shoes. The Pumpkin King is very bored. Apparently while the gang was fighting in the shoe dimension, he was just sitting there staring at the screen for 30 minutes. Soon after, Lascious takes the stage with Moppin' Mike, Sweepin' Steve, and Dustin Dan, and performs a song about how he just killed Fud, because, well, he did. The crowd had a mixed reaction and it fell, somewhat flat from the judges, but Lascious didn't have a care in the world. He had killed Fud just like his first song of the competition said he would. Next, and lastly, Ringo took the stage and performed his stand-up routine, but without Damos. It goes over well and the Pumpkin King loves it. At last, all the contestants have completed and the winners are announced. Third place, Lascious. Second place, Ringo. And finally, drumroll please, Nolene. Surprisingly, all three of the gangs still in the competition won, partially because everyone else was sabotaged, intimidated, or, killed by the gang. Oh well, Nolene does a flip after slipping on water on her way on stage but perfectly lands a front flip, which infuriates Aileen, who storms out of the competition completely and utterly geeked out. While receiving her trophy, she learns that the gang is invited to the VIP after-party, which will be full of gods and hosted by none other than Colonel Briathar himself. So, Lascious brings Horace over to the shoe dimension and, well, Horace takes one look at the mess and just blurts out, "Wow, this place looks like a shithole." Yeah, no kidding, right? Anyway, Lascious gathers up his shoe pals and tells them to stop using Fud's intestines, seriously enough is enough, and to bury the parts of Fud all over the Shooniverse. That way there's no chance Fud ever gets put back together. Oh, and Lascious also sends Damos to help with the cleanup and maybe pick up a few lessons from the locals while he's at it. Next up, Horace opens a portal to this super exclusive rooftop party, where, honestly, it looks like every famous god is already hanging out. Without missing a beat, Horace bolts off to flirt with a new crow rocking a purple bow, while the rest of the gang gets busy mingling with the crowd. Briathar, though, heads straight for a dragon and starts up a conversation. After a bit of small talk, he cuts to the chase and asks the dragon to pledge his soul to him. There's some back and forth, a little pandering, but Briathar finally seals the deal by pointing out that the dragon god hasn't exactly been doing much for the dragon lately, and hey, Briathar can offer way better perks. But, the second that soul is pledged, there's this massive roar from across town, and then, boom, an explosion lights up the distance. Suddenly, a dragon-shaped figure is barreling right toward the building. As the dragon god slams into the tower, panic erupts at the party. Zeus, already on edge, throws a punch, and just like that, all the pent-up tension between the gods explodes into a full-blown brawl. The party's in total chaos. Yeah, I said it, chaos. And right on cue, Colonel Orderly Briathar shows up, looking more than ready to jump into the fray. The party jumps right into action, taking on the Orderly Briathar. Suddenly out of nowhere, the gang's Briathar gets a visit from Cthulhu himself, who, urges him to really let loose and show him what chaos is all about. As a, little token, Cthulhu hands over a conductor's wand of chaos. Without missing a beat, Briathar launches shards of glass at the orderly version of himself, causing just a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Lascious tries to enchant Briathar's shoes, but, well, in the confusion, he just ends up taking them for himself. After a few moments of frantic fumbling, Lascious finally manages to get the enchantment off, and with a bit of flair, slides the shoes back onto his own feet from a distance. Ringo, ever the opportunist, sneaks up on the orderly Briathar and somehow manages to swipe his ruler. He hustles it back to the party's Briathar, who wastes no time cursing the thing. Not done yet, Ringo heads back, and slyly slips the ruler right back into the orderly Briathar's pocket. Then, in a, rather unexpected move, Orderly Briathar opens his pocket seductively, and the gang suddenly feels this weird, almost irresistible urge to dive right in, but, just barely, they manage to resist the temptation. Stellara conjures up a storm, shrouding the battlefield in mystery and hiding the divine skirmish from sight, except for the occasional flash of Zeus's thunderbolts. Nolene, ever the strategist, hatches a cunning plan. She decides to introduce some new rules to outsmart Brithar. Riding high on her first-place dance moves, she declares that every 6 seconds or so, everyone must break into a dance. But oh boy, this plan backfires spectacularly. The ever-orderly Brithar not only embraces the dance but also showcases moves that are somehow, unbelievably, even better than Nolene's. Lassius charges in for some melee action, but orderly Briathar, with his "your attack but better" ability, nearly crushes Lassius's skull. Fueled by fury, Nolene grabs a Hephaestus Hellscreamer and absolutely obliterates his kneecap. Meanwhile, Lassius manages to snag one of Briathar's shoes with his teeth, throwing him off balance. In a dramatic twist, up above, Ra super slams Apep, the Shadow Serpent, into a nearby building. Apep retaliates with shadow venom that splashes all over orderly Briathar, dissolving his clothes. Reeling from the attack, he tumbles backward off a ledge into a kiddie pool filled with glass. In a last-ditch effort, he reaches for his Ruler of Order, which explodes in his hand due to a curse, and just like that he's done for. Briathar, in his own peculiar style, celebrates by teabagging his orderly self while loudly proclaiming, "There can only be one." The session wraps up with the gang heading back to the insane asylum, where they stumble upon a clue leading them to Aileen. It turns out to be another set of coordinates pointing to yet another insane asylum. Will the gang manage to track down Aileen, and, will Zeus hold the gang responsible for the party fiasco? Plus, could another main villain be gearing up to take over the Red Panda Nuggets Corporation? Tune in next time on Realm of the Gods, Silence of the Briathars to find out.